Evening, YouTube. Alright, so I'm going to try to make this a quick video. So this video I want to talk about millennial voters. There's a new poll that just came out that says that millennials are now the largest voting bloc in the United States. The largest and most politically active voting bloc in the United States. Guess who has over 84% of the millennials behind them? Bernie Sanders. Now, the question that the pundits and the media keeps constantly bringing up is, why is it that millennials are flocking to Bernie? And the answer from right-wingers and Hillary Clinton supporters, etc., and the DNC establishment is because, oh, he's promising them free stuff. No. That's not why millennials are flocking behind him. It's for a much simpler reason. And the reason is that Bernie Sanders is the only person who listens to them and who respects them and who treats them like, normal adults with ideas, And millennials dig that, man. They're gravitating towards that. If you've been posting on Twitter or Reddit or any of these forums, or YouTube, I'm sure you've run into these people. And these people are usually older folks that will comment on a video that you make for Bernie Sanders or any video related to any political thing. And they'll always, in a really, really dismissive tone, be like, oh, you liberal idiots, think you, if you guys are idiots, if you just picked up an economics textbook, you'd be able to see blah, 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 and then they'll go into this whole rant. Shit that usually doesn't make sense because we have over 170 plus economists who came out and said that Bernie Sanders' policies are right. So they're on the wrong side of history. But the point is that they have this whole dismissive attitude towards young people, and they think that that's going to somehow win them over to them. The Hillary Clinton campaign is also doing this stupid strategy where you have a bunch of older folks attacking young feminists because they aren't falling in line and jumping behind Hillary because she's a woman. You have Madeleine Albright saying the shit that she said. You have Debbie Wasserman Schultz talking about young women are basically not as aggressive because they've done all the work for them. I'm paraphrasing. Just all of this dismissive bullshit. Understand something. This generational issue is nothing new. And understand something else. The younger generation has always been right on almost every major issue. Take it, back in the 60s, Vietnam War. Who was fighting against that? Who was out in the streets protesting? Young people. Take desegregation, Civil Rights Act. Who was the first people to jump behind that? And many of them supported it. Many of them died. Freedom Bus, remember that? Young people. Who was the major group of people that rallied behind Obama to break through that racial ceiling that this country had and elect the first black president? Young people. Who came out against the Iraq War under Bush, at a time when it was really unpopular to do so? Young people. You had big bands like Incubus making songs like Megalomaniac, which is about George W. Bush. You had the huge get out the vote operations that they had to try to get rid of Bush. And now we have young people once again rallying behind Bernie Sanders to show the world that we're not afraid of a freaking word. That these policies that he's fighting for, social justice, equality, Just the idea of going to work and getting paid getting paid a salary you can pay rent on. Like, what's so wrong in believing in that? Free college education, free healthcare. And it's not free, it's paid for. What's so wrong in believing in this? Like, one of the most common things that they do on TV is you see pundits being all dismissive. One on MSNBC talks about how was saying basically that Bernie Sanders is a child for attacking Wall Street or wanting to regulate Wall Street. That we need to get serious and get a real grown-up in the room like Hillary Clinton that's going to talk to them and negotiate with them. No. We can't negotiate with these people. We need to kick them in the face, break up the banks. Bernie Sanders is right. And the young people get that. Understand something else, and this is a minor part. Half of the pundits that you see on TV, they didn't even go to college. Or they dropped out. They're a bunch of flunkies. Yet they think that because they've been lucky to get to the place where they're at right now, that they have a right to talk down to people who are in college trying to better themselves, or people who are college graduates, who are professionals in their fields. This generational war is nothing new. And one of the most interesting pop culture movements or phenomenons, I'm sorry, I'm sick, so I'm not really thinking clearly, that best represents this is the zombie movies, where that idea came from. Understand that a zombie and the zombies, what they represented was the inevitability of a new generation and a new group of people eventually taking over and winning. The zombies in the early zombie movies represented the young, the survivors and the humans. Those represented the ultra conservatives, the people who were afraid of change and were so terrified they were just running for their life and doing anything they could to suppress the zombies. And this is why zombies eat brains, or they used to. It was because the ideas that they were spreading were dangerous. If a zombie got you, he could turn you into one of them just by changing the way you think. That's what zombie movies represent. And there's something else you can take from a zombie movie. It's the inevitability that it might take time, but eventually the zombies always win. Look, I know, and this is to all the millennials watching this, I know what it's like for people to look at you and just judge you based on not knowing anything about you. Just look at you and just have a bunch of preconceived decisions about who you are. And I'm telling you this, that I am freaking proud of every one of you out there. You guys are doing something amazing, something that has never been done before. You guys are revolutionizing the way how politics works. Who would have thought that a social networking website like Facebook, like Twitter, like freaking Vines, that's supposed to be just for slapstick comedy and for stupid people to get attention. Who would have thought that these websites could be harnessed and used as an incredible political machine to rally millions of people behind somebody who was a virtual unknown, to defeat somebody with 97% name recognition? You are doing this. The memes that you guys are creating, It's a new form of communication that's revolutionizing the way how politics is going to work from here on out. This is groundbreaking stuff. And Bernie Sanders is winning because he's the only one smart enough to embrace the young. So next time you think about bashing a millennial, think about it. That one day, they're going to be the ones taking care of you. Millennials are the future. And I'm freaking proud of you guys. And I'm real optimistic about where our country is going. Or where the world is going, to be honest. I believe in y'all. Feel the burn.